Medicinal hot chocolate. So yummy. Hey, so after my last class, a few people were asking about how I make my herbal lattes, and I haven't sent anything out yet. So here it is. I'm showing you a couple different options. My favorite is just kind of like an herbal hot chocolate. So I'm gonna start off with that. I'm just showing you, this is about 3/4 of a cup of water. So I'm gonna just start by boiling that. And in the class I did a lemon balm latte, but I'm going to give this one to my daughter and she prefers chamomile. So I'm just using chamomile. So it's super easy. So you just get your nice fresh herbs, fresh dried, and you can measure it if you want and use a tablespoon or more per cup. I just like to kind of fill the bottom so it's strong but not overly strong. And I already have water boiling for that. So you want the water to be boiled when you do your herbal lattes, because you want everything to actually get absorbed and absorbed. I see so many people who are using like mushrooms in their smoothies and stuff, and unless it's a mushroom tincture, you're not really getting that much out of it. Like, if you're using a mushroom or an herb, you really want the hot water for the most part to be the menstruum that pulls everything out so that your digestion is actually getting to use it. It can just be a soft boil where it's just beginning to bubble. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to add my cacao powder, and this one I've had for a while. I get from Organic Nectars, which is a local brand. This wonderful woman, Lisa, makes raw organic chocolate, and it's so good. So I'm just using a nice, very heaping spoonful. Much better. So I'm just stirring in the actual chocolate. So I'm adding some, it once was mullein, now it's ashwagandha. So my ashwagandha powder. So I'm going to actually dry off the spoon. So ashwagandha is amazing for so many things. There's a woman that comes in and gets it for her father who has Alzheimer's. It's great for your adrenals. It's an adaptogen, but it's a non-stimulating one, so you can use it all day, every day. It's actually great to use right before bed with a little bit of something fat, like coconut milk or something. It absorbs really well like that. So the other thing that I'm adding is Hawthorne powder. I am so into Hawthorne powder right now. I love it. Hawthorne is amazing for the heart. It's protective for the heart. It's healing for the heart, for both the physical heart and the emotional heart. It's wonderful for grief. It's wonderful for healing after a breakup, making room after a breakup for new love. It physically is good for the heart. People use it instead of getting on heart medicine. So there's those three. I'm also going to add a tiny bit of marshmallow root. Now I'm also going to add marshmallow on top, you'll see. But marshmallow is amazing for the digestive system, helping to repair it. And when you have a good, healthy digestive system, it is hard to get sick because your digestive system is a big part of your immune system. So now that it's all stirred in, cooked, I'm adding the milk, and this milk is actually a flax, sunflower seed, pumpkin seed oat milk that I got the other day in Red Hook when I went down there to get some of my favorite foods. So then you just stir that in, of course, and let that warm up on the stove, and then it sounds like the water for the tea is ready for the chamomile. Let's see. Yep, that's good. So So now we're making the chamomile one as well. You always want to make sure that the herbs go into the water, because if they're floating on top, not getting surrounded by water, they don't really do you any good. They might look pretty, but they're not making themselves into a tea. So the chocolate one is kind of making a flower pattern or maybe a giraffe print pattern in there. And I'm gonna just stir it up and see how it's doing. Oh, it needs one more thing. So I always add maple syrup to my chocolate ones. If I'm doing carob, I don't, because carob has its own natural sweetener, but I use this particular maple syrup that we sell at the shop because I actually helped make this maple syrup. Our friend Joel taps trees every year, and last year I got to go, me and Lyra, my daughter, and we got to help tap the trees. We drilled the holes, we collected sap, we lugged it back to his beautiful little sugar sap house, and he built everything himself. I want to make a video out of it sometime because it was so amazing. So I'm going to use a little bit of this very old-fashioned made maple syrup. So just a little dab. That should be enough. So you don't want to do so much sweetener. Like, you really want to stay under 6 grams of sugar when you're eating, because after that it throws your whole system out of whack. So I'm gonna taste it. Good. It just takes the bitter edge off the herbs in the chocolate. Okay. So I'm just simply going to pour it into the same jar that I had the milk in. Nice and hot. And now the best part, maybe, is the cocoa whip. And you can make your own coconut whipped cream or use whatever you want. I don't use soy, I don't use dairy. I don't like weird ingredients I can't pronounce. And this one is pretty good. So I use a heaping spoonful, because why not? It has super low sugar. So I just put it on there, but then my real favorite part is then I grab some Hawthorne and sprinkle that on there. You don't want it to be too thick in any one spot. And then I also like to add marshmallow. I love the taste. And just sprinkle that on. That is enough. And you can sprinkle other herbs on there too. Oh, I'm gonna do some cinnamon. The cats are going wild. Maybe they want some hot chocolate too. So I'm gonna sprinkle a little cinnamon on there. But it's so good, and you can of course add different herbs depending on what you want, but I adore all of these herbs, and for me there's no reason not to take them all every day, especially the hawthorn and the marshmallow. But really the ashwagandha is so great when you are recovering from long-term stress. And then I'm gonna just show you quickly. So this is where the chamomile is at right now. It's still steeping. But to make your little chamomile latte, you would just strain it, pour it through a strainer. So all the little flowers and everything are gone. And then add a little bit of milk of your choice to that. And then you can just also add a little whipped cream of choice to that and sprinkle some herbs on. And if it's a nighttime thing, you can again do hawthorn. Hawthorn is also great for sleeping. It's also great for some of the ADHD symptoms. You can sprinkle a little bit of that on there. You could sprinkle, we have a lemon balm powder. You could sprinkle like a rose powder. Rose powder is actually really good. Mine is upstairs because I've been using it in the bathtub more recently, but rose powder on top, amazing, delicious, so good and so fun. And it's also a fun way to get kids into herbs and teach them about herbs too, because when there's whipped cream involved, like who doesn't want to learn about that? So enjoy. I hope you make some delicious drinks today and treat yourself well and your family and loved ones well. And I'll see you for another class soon, I hope. Come join the mailing list, and I think sometime in the next week or two I'm gonna send out an invitation to the next class, and after that some of the next classes and courses. So have a beautiful day. Bye.